Hey everyone, it's Dr. Nastel. Today I want to talk a little bit about what I saw in your week 2 submissions on the Pedagogue episodes, and as well as looking forward or looking at week 3 on the summaries and quotation analyses for the articles and chapters posted. So first, I wanted to let's take a look at where we are in the semester and where we've been and where we're going. We're in week 3. Week 4, you know that you have an analysis due, just like we've been doing all along. The only difference is that in week 4, we're going to be synthesizing the materials that we have read in weeks 1 through 3. So far, we have looked at a couple of different articles, chapters, and podcast episodes. I've been asking you to summarize everything, to do extended analyses, rhetorical analyses, and now this week, quote analyses. And the main reason we do that is to break down a text into its smaller components so then we can understand the bigger picture better. Analysis in English composition or in chemistry gives us an idea of the makeup of something bigger. And it's important for you to have different methods for which to do that. So I want to take a look at a summary that has been submitted for the Pedagogue assignment. This writer from our class says, I chose to write about episode 10. The author was trying to bring attention to or highlight the good work that teachers do. His intended audience was teachers all across the globe. The purpose was to inspire and encourage different positions across different institutions. Initially, it is clear to see that the guests' interests and the things that inform their teaching and different practices are the topic of discussion for this podcast. What I found to be so interesting was that even though both teachers had different approaches when it comes down to the specifics or the minor details, I could see how both methodologies could be super effective. One teacher believed in pushing their students to be strict writers and not being so set on one point of view and finding out others' viewpoints. The other believed in targeting writing, or tailoring rather, to their students' actual interests and personal experiences. From my experience with writing, I can see how both perspectives would make for a better writer. Our writer then goes on to discuss their personal reaction to or experience with the ideas presented in the episode. We can see that there's a lot of uses of the word I and my. So I have gathered a lot. My perspective. I run into professors. I even like that. I haven't met, and that's totally fine. I am a instructor who is asking for your personal opinions and experiences and beliefs, but I have a couple of concerns about the submission. So let me pull up the assignment sheet. So for the 1022 assignment, the first time that we worked with Pedagogue, we were supposed to summarize and react to the episode. If this submission was in response to that assignment, I think it would be a good start. The problem that I see with the summary is that it's much too general. There is information about the episode number, but there's no specific details about the people who are speaking or about the content presented. So if we go back to it, we see information about the author, which I think is Shane Wood, and his general perspective or purpose on creating the podcast, but there's nothing specific about episode 10. And while our writer is talking about teachers having different approaches, it's unclear what those approaches are or who those teachers are. Is it the host and his guest, or is it other teachers? And in fact, these could be, many of the statements in this paragraph could be about any teacher in any conversation. There's really nothing here that lets us know the information is from the podcast episode specifically. The other concern is that I think that the highlighted sentences look like a summary. This looks like the writer is describing Shane Wood's purpose in creating the Pedagogue podcast. But the second part of the paragraph is about the writer's reaction to the episode. So I did ask for that in one paragraph, right? So we had about 350 words, one paragraph summary, one paragraph reaction. And it looks like this writer kind of merged the two in the first paragraph and then extended their reaction in the second. In the second paragraph, where we're writing about how I have run into professors who did this kind of thing, this is totally appropriate. And in fact, what I'm hoping to see, that when we see an idea that's presented in a text, we can extend it, and we can do that through describing our own experiences and what that made us think about as we listened or read. That's perfectly appropriate. However, this submission was actually for the 1027 assignment, which was a rhetorical analysis, and the writer has not done that yet. So the rhetorical analysis, I didn't experience this until I was in graduate school, so I understand that it's a new kind of writing for many of us, and it can feel really weird because there's really no connection between the two. I'm just asking you to describe different pieces of a text, but I do believe that doing this can help us gain a better understanding of the material and of the bigger issues that the writers are writing about. So this writer has not fulfilled these requirements just yet.